Hi, how's it going? This is Resident of Collingwood for YouTube, and I'm here to do a review of the Mortal Kombat Reboot movie that dropped on HBO Max this morning. Me and my wife watched it as soon as it dropped, so we were watching it this morning before the kids got up and we had to get them ready for school. So we watched this. I really enjoyed this. To me, this was a straight 10. Now, there's going to be spoilers in this, so if you don't want to watch this video, just don't watch it. But if you do want the spoilers, stick around. I got them for you. So, if you're not familiar with Mortal Kombat, the reboot and the original movie is based off of the game that came out in the 90s. So, I think this movie is better than do I think the Mortal Kombat movie, the new reboot, is better than the original? Yes, 1000%. And that is not something you will hear me say very often on this channel, that a reboot surpasses the original. And you might say, well, why am I saying that? And it's not because of the choreography. I think the choreography was pretty much the same for each movie. The only difference I would say with this, it had way more gore and a very horror-like atmosphere to it, which I love. I do think, again, the original had a horror atmosphere with reptile and stuff and certain aspects, but I think this one even had a lot more to it. You could sense the danger around every corner, every turn, and I love this movie for it. For that reason, that's another reason I love this movie more so than I do the original. The original's really good. It's great. You can go watch it and still enjoy it. But I really love this movie. And the main reason I love this movie, it goes to show you don't always have to necessarily have a clear-cut winner to continue your franchise, to continue to try to make a video game movie into a franchise. And what I mean by that is, the biggest mistake to me the original Mortal Kombat movie made was perhaps killing Shang Tsung and having it be Liu Kang and Shang Tsung go head to head, and and again, Mortal Kombat is about killing, don't get me wrong, but them doing that, them killing Shang Tsung in the original, is what put themselves, to me, in the corner for the sequel, because they only had one place to go, and that was Shao Kahn. With this movie, they didn't do that. They left the antagonist, one of the main antagonists, Shang Tsung, alive at the end of the movie, and he only really gets in one main altercation where he grabs the guy with the hat, I forget his name, Kane Lao, I believe is his name, and he sucks out his soul. Now, I will admit the one thing that disappointed me, and I'm not going to deduct him too hard on this, Shang Tsung does not shapeshift. He does not change forms into another form to trick somebody, where in the original he did. And that is from the game. He did shapeshift into other forms, which I was shocked at in this movie. I do think they're saving that for the sequel, and that, to me, it wasn't dumb. It was actually smart, because you're not revealing Shang Tsung's full abilities yet. Why do you have to? You don't. You're leaving him alive. You're bringing him back. Why not save that for the sequel? You know, you're keeping that meat on the bone to keep the audience to come back to. Oh, we didn't show you everything? Wait till next time. I love that. Keep your audience wanting more, and this movie most certainly did that for me, with keeping Shang Tsung alive and setting up for the next tournament. Now, we all know that Johnny Cage is definitely coming in the next film. Did, the original Mortal Kombat 2, because I gotta believe this is getting a sequel, make a mistake with killing Johnny Cage? Because that was my brother's biggest complaint for part 2. Yes, they did. I will say that right out. Now, with this, Johnny Cage doesn't die, because Johnny Cage isn't technically in the film. He's mentioned at the end. So, spoiler, again, this video is full of spoilers. I'm going to Hollywood. Says the descendant of Scorpion, which I love what they did with Sub-Zero and Scorpion in this. We always know that Scorpion and Sub-Zero had this rivalry. Well, here, the rivalry starts because Sub-Zero, who's not, yes, he is representing Shang Tsung, and he does want to defeat the Earth's greatest warriors before the tournament, but he's also representing his clan, and he takes great pride in that, which I love. But so Scorpion takes pride in his family and his clan too, and when he dies, he feels that he's died in vain. A lot of the reason is because he didn't really save his family. Well, his son didn't die, but again, he was trying to defend his family from an attack, and he ends up dying. So he goes to hell. Well, Raiden, who says he can't interfere, does, which we know Raiden's done before. Brings Scorpion up out of hell, which I love. I love that. I actually love how they did Scorpion here. I know people are going to complain about that, but I loved it. I thought it looked good. It didn't look corny. The Get Over Here, I don't think it sounded as bad as it did maybe in the trailer. It looked and sounded good to me within the course of the film and how they did it. So I love that. I love the fact that you had a lot of character death. Again, it's Mortal Kombat. They're supposed to be. So, Kano, who's my favorite character? Kano. Even though we know Kano's a villain, but Kano steals this movie in many, many ways. The one-liners in this film will be remembered forever. Beautiful with the one-liners in this movie. Again, I love this movie. It gets a straight 10. I will say that, did this movie create any problems? Not really. I think they just did a perfect job creating a movie that they weren't giving you everything. They were giving you enough to get through an hour and 40 minutes of pure entertainment and tell you a story in the process. And that's exactly what the filmmakers did here. They told you a story where if you were born to fight for Mortal Kombat, you're given a dragon symbol. The dragon symbol we're all very familiar with, which is the game logo that we love and know. But you can get that symbol by killing one of the representatives. That's how Kano gets his symbol. Kano kills one of the representatives. Kano is a mercenary, by the way. That's how Sonya Blade gets her symbol. She ends up killing Kano. So, and I love that. I love how they did the rivalries, because Kano, he betrayed the good guys. Again, I think we all sort of, if I would say that's the one thing you know is coming, if that's my one complaint of this film, that's it. But I think we all expect Kano to be the villain and not the hero. Come on. There's just some characters you're not making a good guy, and Kano is one of them. But I think what that says to you, though, with Mortal Kombat is, where anybody really could be corruptible, well, maybe so can the bad be turned over to the good. Now, we haven't quite seen that yet, and maybe that'll happen in the next film. I'm not saying it will. Maybe it will. Again, I love this movie. It's a perfect 10. And I love the fact that they left wiggle room. They did not do everything to ruin their movie they didn't ruin their movie by putting everything in this film. They just gave you enough and left a lot of meat on that bone to where they could go a lot of directions with Shang Tsung being alive. With Shang Tsung being alive, they don't have to jump to Shao Kahn right away. And I think that's where their sequel is really going to kick the original sequel's ass, because they left the wiggle room. They left that story for a continuation, which was smart. Super, super smart. It's basically what Marvel did a bunch of times. And no surprise, one of the Russo brothers, I think, was attached to this. So that shouldn't be really a shock, should it? So My review of this movie is just straight 10. It is pure fun from beginning to finish. I enjoyed the hell out of this. Please, please give me more of this. I hope they come back with a sequel. They definitely should. I can't see anybody complaining about this movie, but I could be wrong. Um, so, hope you guys enjoyed the movie and enjoy this review. Let me hear your thoughts and comments. What did you think of the new Mortal Kombat movie?